How to beat Sheffield United at Bramall Lane. Well, Luton have had no problems doing that for the last couple of seasons, especially in the Premier League last season. Fantastic results, but now they've got to put that behind them and focus on the Championship. Mark and Dan are here to talk about just how the Hatters can get their season going at Bramall Lane. It's 20 minutes of mad Luton chat. As depressing as it could be to listen to, we try and make it as entertaining as we possibly can. Welcome to Where Hatters Walk. Welcome back, Mark and Dan. Mark, I know you had a night out in Plymouth. We'll get to that in a second. Hopefully you enjoyed your night out more than you did the game. And we're also going to talk about your player of the month for September. Before we get into all of that, though, we've got a little quiz for you to do this week. We're looking for three players that have played for both Luton and Sheffield United. Three players that played for both clubs, PB, KE and KB. We'll ask Mark and Dan for their thoughts on that at the end. Okay, then you've had some nice trips to Bramall Lane recently. It was the away side won both games in the Premier League, but Mark, you other teams seem to fold at Bramall Lane, but you seem to have a not bad record there. You're looking forward to hopefully this weekend.
Last season was a bit bizarre. 2 own goals in the last 8 minutes. It was a bit of a roller coaster, and thoroughly deserved the one before. I think it's about quietening the crowd. It'll be an atmosphere and be a good atmosphere. And yeah, Sheffield United have started strong. I saw some posts from their fans saying that they need a striker. So hopefully that means they're going easy on our defence.
Yeah, the Kiefer Moore is not doing the business, just like Adebayo is not doing the business for you. You've got 2 strikers, or 2 forwards there, not doing the job at the moment. Dan, for you, who's brought the better out of the 2 relegated sides?
It's a very tough one, really. I know, obviously, Sheffield United have spent a fair amount this summer. They're obviously intent to go back up and using the resources available to them to do that. Whereas we've been a bit more savvy with our money, shall we say. It's probably the most polite way of saying we're being tight and stingy. But yeah, I mean, in that, they've managed to get Callum O'Hare on a free transfer. I understand his wages are significantly more than what Coventry were willing to pay and would have been out of our sort of budget as well. So their budgets are obviously bigger than ours, I think, in terms of wages per player, etc. So I think they've been able to pull in better quality of players in those terms. I'd say that, I mean, it's certainly proving so far that they've invested better. But I say we're only a few games in, so we'll see come the end of the season. Sorry.
Okay. I wanted to just have a look at the team that you had last time you beat them, and I know we're talking different leagues here. Let me just get that off your face there, Dan. Otherwise, we can't see you.
It's no loss.
Yeah, yeah. We're not talking. We're talking obviously a different kind of league. But what type of player, Mark, are you most missing at the moment? From if you look at the squad there.
I mean, it's changed quite a lot. So I mean, obviously, it's well documented about Tom and Gabe Osho has left. I mean, I think for me, the absolute must starter is Marvelous Nakamba. We need to, after the goals we conceded on Friday, we need to be a lot more solid, and Nakamba gives us that base and gives it that more solid look to the defensive midfield, so that we don't get overrun in midfield. And so yeah, we've basically got to tighten up in the middle. We've got more defensive injuries, so we don't know what that's going to look like, but I think we just need to be more solid in the middle.
Yeah. the game was on Sky on Fridays, as you know, so I got a chance to watch it, and I was watching with a few friends, and I couldn't believe just how bad Adebayo is. We've spoken about him on the channel before. He looks a player that is devoid of all confidence, and looks like at times it looks like he's never played football before. To be quite frank,
Yeah.
I know social media hasn't been kind, and that's never good. But Dan, how do you solve a problem like Adebayo?
I mean, Rob Edwards has come out today and said that he's starting against Oxford, so I think he obviously believes in him. But I know that with Morris out injured as well, Joe Taylor's not quite ready to start, in my opinion, and he doesn't fancy Corley Woodrow to start either. So we haven't really got any other options. I feel like it's a bit of an Adi Akinbaye at Leicester back in 2000 situation where Peter Taylor was told to drop him. It was called out, drop him, give him a few games, and then bring him back in, and he never did, and obviously ruined his time at Leicester. But in this situation, I remember this happening start of last season as well, where he was struggling a little bit, and they actually pulled him out of the side and put Carlton Morris in and made Adebayo earn his place back in, like bringing him on for 10, 15, 20 minutes here and there. And then he went on and had a brilliant couple of months where he couldn't stop scoring, got into double figures, and then twisted his ankle and he was out for months again, or pulled his hamstring or whatever it was. So I think the answer is, when we can drop him. But Edward just said believe in him, so we've got to go in that and just get behind him, really. Okay. It is a confidence thing, definitely. Sorry.
Yeah. So, thanks for that, Dan. Mark, you're the most positive Luton Town fan, I think, that walks the planet. But even you must be getting frustrated with his performances.
Yeah, you like Dan said, you can just tell he's void of confidence. Like with the chance when he went through first half last season, and he just taken it on his left and probably scored, but he was trying to put himself back on his right. Moved into defenders, and the header was another one. And I think this is the guy that scored 10 goals in the Premier League. So he's a confidence player. He's not, the goals will come, but I think he just needs one, however it comes. And obviously with Carlton being injured, that sort of, whether Rob was going to play him anyway, or whether it's been forced just by the fact that Carlton's out, but when he's on form, he's one of the most feared strikers, and he gives, apart from his goals, he brings us so much more. His work rate off the ball is just incredible, but you can just tell how much he's struggling by, and it's not like he's not getting chances. He's getting the chances. He just needs, I think once he gets one, he'll go on a roll, but yeah, I think we just need to back him because there's a great striker there that's just low on confidence.
Okay. Before we move on, please do drop us a subscribe. We love making this content for you, and there's lots of other Luton stuff that you can watch and listen to. You'll see Dan on other things and Mark on other things as well, but this is one that brings them together, and we have a good old chat about Luton. Before we look at some social media takes of it, the tickets for the Watford game were released to Watford fans today. They are very happy because they've been told that they can only travel to your ground on club official coaches for, I think, the second year running, and that it's double standards, that when you'll visit Watford, you get to roam around all Wetherspoons and get the freedom of the city. Do you have any sympathies?
Well, we actually did the same last year. You had to buy a coach ticket to get a ticket, so it's not double standards. Because I don't know if I'm right, but I believe that we did the same to go to their place, didn't we?
Oh, right.
I remember doing it.
They said it wasn't.
Obviously, 2 years. Obviously, 2 years ago, because we're in the Premier League last year and they weren't.
Yeah.
To get that in. No, I actually drove down with my dad. We drove into Watford town centre, and we had to go in my dad's car because my car's full of Luton stickers. and anti-Watford ones, so we had to go in his. So I remember that, but I do remember going in 2006 by coach. That was the only way you could really go. That was safe.
Okay, all right.
So,
they weren't happy. They say that when it's the reverse fixture, that there's no such arrangements in place. But I mean, it has to be done for safety, obviously. They're just hoping not for any Harry Potter coaches this time round, given given the Luton memes that followed that.
Yeah.
All right, let's have a look at some social media takes from the game then. How the F can Edwards not see what is going on? I love this man to bits, but for F's sake, Rob, you are doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. It's not going to happen. I've never seen us look so disjointed all over the park. Just go 4-4-2 and you can complete the rest of that sentence. Okay, Dan, should he go 4-4-2?
It always used to serve as well, but I think football's changing, and we're in an era now. Everyone wants to play pet ball, as they call it. So I think that's what he's going with. I'm not a particular fan of the way we're playing, but I've said millions of times to anyone that listen, I made peace with the fact that come 5 o'clock, as long as we've got a result, I don't care how bad it is out there, which is ultimately what matters. We're judged on results, and he's bringing in a style that he believes in, and he isn't going to change it. So as frustrating as it is, and as bad as Friday was, and most of this season has been, he's sticking with it, and we've just got to get behind him now.
But good managers though, Mark and Dan, they'll figure that out. You don't seem to have, from my observation, a plan B, and good coaches that you'll come up against will figure that out. You're given the opposition so much space at times to play in. You've got a massive hole between the defence and the midfield. Mark, it's got to sort it out, or else you genuinely are in a relegation scrap, aren't you?
Well, I mean, don't forget last season when we were losing quite heavily, and then he changed it, and that's when we had the great game against Arsenal. I know we're talking last season, but he can change it, and I think if he was going to change it, he could have changed it on Friday. Obviously, Tedemanga went off, Mads Anderson came on, and he got another hamstring. And beginning of the season, he was like, right, we want to play attacking football. And whatever you may think of the formations, it's creating chances. But at the end of the day, we're not taking the chances at one end, we're conceding at the other. And Friday was just so poor. The passes, it's like you can send the team out with the formations and the tactics, but the passes that were misplayed Friday is, sure, that can't be down to Rob. But I do get why people are frustrated. But if it ever was going to change, it would have been changed on Friday. But he believes in that. But I don't believe it's that rigid that it's not like a Vincent Kompany where it's my way or the highway, because he did show that flexibility and adaptability last season. And I think, once again, just when we're getting everyone fit, Amari Bell's out, Tedemanga, Mads Anderson, so now we almost feel like we're back to where we were in January.
Okay. All right then, home to Oxford, which obviously will happen before you watch this, and away to Sheffield United. Dan, how many points will we be sitting here next week chatting about?
I'd be happy with 2 right now. But no, I mean, I'm hoping we can continue our good form with Bramall Lane and make that 3 away wins in a row. I'm going to stick my neck out for 4.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, we asked you at the start, both of you then, to name 3 players that have played both for Luton Town and for Sheffield United. Did you get any of these? I'm guessing Mark might have a few.
Oh, no,
I'm struggling.
You've caught me off
I've got one of them.
Go on.
Paul Pesky-Solido.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah,
wow.
Spells.
That's one of them.
I mean, it wasn't, sure, prolific, but doesn't sound. Keith Edwards is one as well, and Kevin Blackwell.
Kevin Blackwell,
of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a goalkeeper, wasn't he? Who had his stint at both clubs. He went on to manage Luton Town, I think, if I remember right.
He managed both clubs as well.
Yeah,
he stunk the place out.
That's why you don't remember him, right? Finally, then, September Player of the Month. Nice and quick. One name, one reason. go. You can have the same one as well. Mark.
It's got to be Thomas Kaminski. He's, as you'd expect me to say, I'm like, you won't be surprised. But honestly, I mean, he saved us from heavy defeat on Friday. His two saves in the last minute when we got the win at Millwall, and Sheffield Wednesday could have been out of sight without his save. So for me, TK has been head and shoulders.
Absolutely. We're getting the whole DVD of Kaminski saves ready to launch at the end of the season. That one against Millwall is my favourite. That the toenail that sent Langstaff's shot wide. Dan?
Yeah, I'm going to have to side with Mark there on that one. I think the amount of saves he's made, I mean, he's saved us from a few drubbings. So, yeah, it's got to be him.
Okay. All right. Argue with that in the comments if you will. Thank you all very much for watching. Have a great week, everyone. We'll be hopefully sitting here next week with 6 points to Witcher. Let's see. Cheers for watching. Have a great week.